Hi guys, it's your girl B Michelle coming at you with another Dollar Tree DIY. So I'm starting with this burlap ribbon. I got this out of the floral garden section out of Dollar Tree. And I'm also using these 5x7 picture frames. Now these picture frames are the ones that already kind of have like a farmhouse kind of look to them, like kind of like distressed frames. So I'm taking some of the ribbon and I'm measuring the back side of the frame because I'm going to glue these down. So I'm going to use 3 pieces of ribbon on each frame. You can use more if you want more. If you want a tighter fit, you can use more, but I'm just going to use 3. So I'm just using that as a guide and cutting down the sizes that I need. Next, I take some of the hot glue and I just place some of the hot glue on the back side of the frame, and I'm just going around the sides as well as the top so that I can make a connection point with the ribbon. And you do want to use something to press into the glue because the glue is hot, so you don't want to burn yourself because the glue will seep right through that ribbon. So I just use my scissors to kind of press in to connect the glue to the ribbon. You just follow those same steps until your ribbon is complete. And it should start to look something like this. And I did have space in between mine, but you guys, it's perfectly fine. If you want to do it tighter, like I said, just use more ribbon. So next, I don't know what happened with the camera, but it did not pick up this part here. So I just actually pulled this apart so I can show you guys that I just placed some hot glue on the back of this snowman, and I'm just going to glue it down to the ribbon. The top hat wouldn't lift up for me to show you guys, so I just kind of had to lift it because that glue really stuck really good. And the top hat is actually sticking to the frame. So I'm sorry that it did not show that part, but basically just some glue on the back side and just glue it down. And this snowman didn't come from the Dollar Tree. It actually came from Walmart, and I think it was like $1.48 or either $1.97. One of those prices. But the snowflake here did come from the Dollar Tree. So these are the snowflakes that have the burlap on the front and the felt on the back. Yeah, the snowman was $1.97 from Walmart. And basically the same thing for the snowflake as well. Just put the hot glue on the back side and glue it down to the ribbon. And I also used the string that was on the snowflake to use that as a piece to hang on the back. And actually my ribbon is kind of just tucked through. My ribbon was actually broken when I bought it, so I just kind of tucked the other piece. I didn't detach it from the snowflake, but you can detach it if you want to. And I just kind of stuck it through the little crack, and I just glued the other piece down. So this next set of frames, these are the frames that you can get from the Dollar Tree as well. They have that whitewash kind of finish to them. And I just popped the little plastic piece out, and it's going to be the same concept, you guys. You can take these little pieces off here if you want, or you can leave them on if you want to have that to hang. But I'm actually going to use some string to hang mine, but you can take that part off if you want to. So I'm using some burlap, and this burlap did come from the Dollar Tree. You can also get burlap from Walmart. And my burlap is kind of in bad condition here. It's falling apart, but I'm going to use it anyway. And the same steps, just measure out and glue it down to the back. And you can also put it in this direction if you wanted to. Whichever direction you want to do it, it is perfectly fine. It's going to be your creation. You do it however you desire to do it. So, same step. And also for this frame, I use 4 strips of the burlap instead of 3 because this frame is a little bit bigger. So depending on the size of the burlap that you use, I'm using 4 strips. And you just follow those same steps as before until it's completely covered to look like this. So I'm using one of these, the backing from a picture frame that I used previously. Of course, I didn't throw those things away because I knew they would come in handy at some point. So it's a little bit bigger than this actual frame. And this probably was an 8 by 10 frame. So I'm just going to cut it down to fit, just to cover up the burlap on the back. And that's going to give it, it's going to make it a little bit more secure. And I removed those little tabs from the frame. And you can use just a piece of cardboard. It doesn't have to, you don't have to run out and buy extra picture frames just to have the backing. Just use a piece of cardboard or a piece of foam board or just something for more security. Or you can just add more burlap and you don't necessarily have to use any cardboard or foam board. And if you wanted to add lights to this, it would be pretty. If you want to string lights on the back with that burlap, it's going to come through to the front. That would be pretty as well. So you have plenty of options. When I make DIYs, you guys, you can always make it your own. You can do any kind of alterations to make it however you desire to have it. This is just to give you some type of inspiration to come up with your own ideas. Or if you want to do it exactly the way I do it, that is perfectly fine too. So this piece, this one came from Walmart as well, and this one may have been $1.97 or $1.49 as well. I don't remember the exact price, but it's just a little, it looks like a little miniature wreath or a little flower here. And I thought I wanted to use my little sign and put my word and put it on the bottom. So I glued this to the top piece. And then I realized I wanted to put it on the top. So by the time I decided to change it, that glue was already stuck. So I just flipped the frame around and I did not take the string off of the love sign. I kept it on the front, and if I would have been thinking, like I said, I started to put it on the bottom, so the string part didn't really matter. But since I decided to put it on the top, I said, well, I guess I'll just leave the string on here because I also may not keep this way. Of course, with me doing my DIYs, everything doesn't necessarily stay the same for me. If you want this to be more permanent, you may want to take that string off and just use it on the back of the frame. But I kept mine on the front because I may use it for something else. Who knows? So basically just glue that, put the glue on the word and just glue it to the ribbon. And that is it. That is so simple. So I made 2 other frames. And I was just showing you guys some ribbon here that I was going to use. You can use some jute twine or some type of string or whatever to hang it on the back. And you just use some hot glue to just place it down. And you can also use that string that's already on the word, and it's a thicker string, so that will come in handy. I just didn't take mine off because I may repurpose this. So you guys, if you want to take yours off, do that. So this is how it looks. And I also made 2 other frames using the same concept, but just using a different piece. And these were $1.49 from Walmart. Dollar Tree does sell little items like this as well. I think at the time when I bought these, I didn't see any at Dollar Tree at the time, but now they have plenty of them. So these were $1.49 at Walmart. And I just used some hot glue. And I also used words on these as well. But at the time when I was creating this DIY, I didn't have the other 2 words. I didn't have the word peace, nor did I have the word joy. So my placement of this little piece here was a little bit off. I could have placed it a little bit lower if I had those words, but since I didn't have them at the time I was creating this, I just tried to center it more. And I later found the words before I placed this video out there, so I went back and I placed the words on there. So that's why mine is just a little bit off-centered with the word. And I just glued it down to the burlap and glued those leaves. The leaves kind of actually touched the frame. I don't know if both of the leaves touched the frame or not, but I know at least one of the leaves touched the frame. And I just created this little bow from that other ribbon that I had left over and just glued it down to the bottom. So it was looking something like this, but like I said, I later on found those words, peace and joy, and of course I had to add those to love. And one of the berries fell off, so I decided to just glue it on top of the bow. And I just took one of the other berries and glued it on the second piece that I made. So now I have peace and joy that I can add to love. So I just took the hot glue and I just had to move the piece, move the little green part back a little bit so I can place those two words at the top. And again, I left my string on there just in case I want to repurpose these for something else. So this is how it's looking. And I'm going to repeat those same steps with the word peace. And this is some of the jute twine, you guys, if you wanted to use some of the jute twine. But of course, you can just use the string that's on your words. But if you didn't want to use the string on your words, like I'm not going to use mine, you could just use some jute twine or something. And you know what, you guys, I did place this on the back because I realized that the string on the front, it was going to make the frame sit out from the wall, and I didn't want it to be that way. So I did go ahead and add the jute twine in addition to the string on the front because I didn't want it to sit from the bottom. So these are the final looks, you guys. This is the combination with the snowman, the sleigh, and I didn't show you guys the sleigh, but the sleigh came from the Dollar Tree as well. The snowman, the snowflake, and the sleigh. And I just placed it on the wall. You can arrange these however you desire to do it. This is just to give you an example on how it can be arranged. And this is a joy, love, and peace. And I just arranged them this way on the wall, and I added that little I don't know what you call it, the little stick with the pine cones and the little pine, it's like a little branch off a pine tree. So I just placed it on the wall as well. Those came from the Dollar Tree as well. So this is another look that you can have with hanging these on the wall. You can design these however you desire to do it and just place them however you desire to place them throughout your house. They don't necessarily have to go on the wall either. You can place them on a table. So that's it, you guys, just showing you different looks. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And you can also share the video. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. And I thank you to all of my viewers as well as my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And until next time, you guys, bye.